Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I gonna answer a question that I was asked while visiting some family. So this question is should I sell my house that I'm living in and with that money use it to buy a multifamily and basically live in one unit, rent out the others. So in other words, pretty much house hack. So let's dive into it, and I can kind of explain my reasonings on on what I think. All right, let's go. Okay, so I got a combination going on. So I'm gonna share my screen and kind of start walking through my thought process and kind of just verify everything that I say, so that way you guys kind of see that whatever I'm saying does it make sense, and I could just search it real quick right here on Google, so you kind of see that okay, you know what I'm saying is it's for real. So so should the question is should I sell my primary residence, so basically the home that you are currently living in, sell that and take the proceeds from that sale, the money you make from that selling that home, and roll it into, or basically use it to buy a multifamily property like a duplex, triplex, quadplex, and then from there, live in one unit and then rent the other units out. So my belief is that you don't ever want to sell any of your assets if possible. Don't sell. And so my first question would be like, okay, you know, how long have you lived there in that resident in that home? Has it been at least 2 to 3 years? And so that's a big important question. You may not understand it, but if you live in that in a property which is your home for less than, I believe it's gonna be less than 2 years, and then you try to sell that property. So if you bought the home for, let's just say, just do easy math, you bought it for 100,000, and then less than 2 years, now it's worth 200,000. Well, when it comes time to sell the home, let's just say you sold it for 200,000, and you're gonna make, you bought it for 100,000, so you made $100,000 profit. Well, that means you're gonna pay taxes on that $100,000 profit. But what happens if you live in that home for at least 2 to 3 years? Well, in that case, when it comes time to sell, in this example, you bought it for 100,000, you sold it for 200,000, you made $100,000 profit. You would actually not pay any taxes on that. So let's see here. Let's look at that. So how long do you have to live in a primary residence before you can sell without taxes? So, all right, and this you can look on the IRS website, or just Google it really quick. And as you can see here, 2 years of ownership, and if you live in 2 years lease of primary residence, then you can avoid the taxes, which is the capital gains. So in this case, this person who asked me, they live in that home for more than 2 years, or again 24 months. So they live longer than that. So that means when it comes time for them to, if they do decide to sell their home, the money they get from selling that home is tax free. So that's really nice. But of course, there's a cap on it. But again, this in this scenario, they're not gonna be making that much where it's gonna be past the limit there. So yes, this is really good. But I still say, if possible, don't sell the asset. And so the next question is, okay, you know what? Could you just do a cash out refinance on this home? Well, yes, you could, but in my opinion, at least another question that I'm gonna ask, and that question is, what's your current interest rate? Because obviously, if you do a cash out refinance, the current interest rates right now, it's high as heck. So you're looking at like at least 6 to 7% interest rates around there. So that's even with good credit. So, so when I asked this, when I asked this person, what's your interest rate at? It's less than 3%. Shoot, I mean, like, if your interest right now is less than 3%, you're not gonna want to sell, because if you sell, I mean, you're not gonna get that low interest rate. I mean, probably ever again. Unfortunately, that's just how things are now. So leads to my next question. Okay, you don't want to sell or refinance. I mean, yeah, okay. How can you get this? How can you tap into that home equity? How can you get that money that's just sitting there? Well, if it was me, what I would do is I would just get a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. And so you may wonder what is a home equity line of credit. So basically, it's literally just having a almost like opening an account, and that account gives you access to that equity of the home. So let's just say the home you're living in has you bought it just say you bought it for 100,000, now it's worth 200,000. So that means you have $100,000, just sitting there that you could tap into. I'm just making this math easy as possible. So let's just say you have that $100,000 sitting there. Well, you can go to the bank and ask for a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. You could do this at pretty much just about any bank. And so the bank will generally want to see, if you got a job, if you're stable. Um, they're gonna ask you what you want to do with the money, and you can just keep it simple. Hey, I want to make some home improvements, or I want to fix the roofing. Just keep it simple. And so they usually will give you up to 80% of that equity. So let's just say you're sitting on $100,000 equity. Well, they usually will give you at least 80% of that. So they'll give you access to $80,000. And so with that $80,000, you could again use that money as a down payment to buy your rental property, or your investment that you want to do. So just kind of be aware of, though, that if you want to do this, you're gonna want to pull out the money that you need first, and then put it into your personal bank, and that way you will let that money season. Some banks still want that money to be moved out of that HELOC and put into your just your savings account. Have it sit there for at least 3 months and let it season there, and then that way you can use that money as a down payment. It'll be a whole lot less issue. So again, just so what the HELOC is basically just having like and literally like an account. Almost it's similar to like a bank account, like a credit card. They'll give you a checkbook that you can write a check and it'll pull money out of that account. Or sometimes they'll give you a card, almost like a debit credit card, where you can use it and it'll take money from that account. But it's very simple and easy to use. And the good thing is that it's usually the loan payments are usually it's like a 10-year loan. So basically, that account will be open for 10 years, and the payments are usually stretched over 10 years. So whatever you pull out. So if I want to do like a quick calculator here, let's just do I don't know, just call it like a mortgage calculator. Let's just look this up, mortgage calculator, just to keep it simple. Let's just say it's $100,000, and this is a 10. Usually, I mean, depending on the bank, some of these are let's see here, HELOC calculator. So some of the HELOCs, they can be fixed or adjustable. So most likely you're probably gonna see an adjusted rate where it just kind of goes up and down. Okay, so yeah, so now that you're kind of having you're really just kind of pointing out why I think just doing the line of credit would be good. It's just so that way you could still keep that asset, and the more assets you hold, that's the way you build wealth. And with that single family home, what I would do is I would just find a good property manager to manage that property, and what they'll do is they'll find you a tenant, they'll collect the rent, they'll handle just whatever needs to be done. But of course, just be aware of what fees they're gonna charge. Maybe they might want 10% of the rent. They might want if they find a new tenant, they might want to keep the first month rent for them, but afterwards, whatever rent comes in from there, it's gonna be just a fee of that. And yeah, when it comes to finding a good property manager, I mean, if you could ask for referrals, read reviews on the internet, like Google, or just people in the area. If you can just ask for a good property manager, and then go and you can interview them and just ask whatever questions. So, but yeah, let's look at Zillow. Let's pull up some multifamily properties and see if we can find anything good. So let's see. I was gonna say Hickory. Let's just look at Hickory. It's been a while. Hickory, North Carolina. And I'm going to just do it as multifamily. See if anything pops up here. And then as I'm kind of just talking about this, I wanted to mention that really just think about how much of a down payment you will need. So again, as I mentioned in one of my last videos, as long as it's 4 units or under, you can do low money down. So you could do FHA loan, which is just 3.5% down, or you could do just 5% down. You could do more if you want to, but I always say if you just do like 5% down, that's just a good number to me. I don't know, that's just a good number that I like. Not too over leveraged because you got to do with your math and do the calculator. Um, know the area, just see if hey, what can I rent out, each unit for. Do your math, and the math checks out. Then yeah, then that's a winner. So let's check on this one here. Let's see there. There's a price cut. This one is 8 units, so this might be too big. So this will be probably a commercial property here. Gotta find something a little bit smaller. This looks. What is this? 445. What is this? It's pretty new construction. It's a duplex. Brand new built duplex, 445,000. It's a 6 bed, 6 bath. So let's see here. Each unit is a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. Not bad. Again, they mentioned house hacking, where you live on one side and rent the other. But 445,000, if you were to do 5% down, this is not gonna be 100% accurate, but just to see here what your down payment may look like. So you'll need $22,250. Of course, you gotta take into consideration closing costs and other things here. But let's just say, let's just add 5,000. Let's just say you need 28,000 to close on this. So that's not bad. $28,000. If you have that HELOC, you could just use a portion of that, and you could buy something like this to get started. Of course, you want to do your math and make sure how much would the other side rent for, and do the math on your mortgage. I just do a 30-year mortgage and see what that look like at, let's just say 7% interest. And then if you want me to do, let me just do that here. Since I'm here, I'm gonna so mortgage calculator. Okay, so let's just say it was 445,000, and then down payment of, let's see here. I'm just gonna say let's just add 5,000 because of the closing costs, and then let's see here. Times you're gonna do, let's just say 5% down. So what you'll be owe here, let's see, you're gonna owe 428. Let's just round it to 428,000. Okay, so your monthly payment will be like around $3,000 a month based off a interest rate of 7.6%. So your other side of the unit, if it's a 3 bed and 2.5, hopefully you can at least rent it for at least $2,000. That's what I would like to see, ideally. If you can rent one side for $2,000 and you live on one side, that means you're only gonna pay $1,000, which is not bad. Because again, you stay there for a year and then you can repeat and find another multifamily, and so you can leave that unit, and of course rent your side that you left into buying another property. So this is a very powerful strategy. One thing I wanted to mention was that if you can just be patient and do this over a period of 10 years. So let's just say you buy a duplex or a triplex or a quadplex. You do one of them. You buy one of those once a year for 10 years, and by the end of 10 years, shoot, you'll have quite a bit of units. You may bump into banks giving you a hard time where you have a lot of loans. Well, when the time comes, you could just get a commercial loan or do like a portfolio loan, where basically it'll be one jumbo loan, combine all these loans into one. But of course, that's more, that's something in the future you don't need to worry about right now. Just something to keep in mind, that really just getting started and just seeing what's out there. Of course, one thing I like to mention is that when you're buying a brand new, built property, when you're buying something that's brand new, you're not really making any equity in the buy. So you're not making the money when you buy. So that's the trade-off. You're buying something that's brand new, doesn't need any work. I mean, it's no maintenance, it's brand new. You're not gonna make your money when you buy. If you're wanting to make money when you buy, then you have to look for properties that are distressed. And so, what does that mean? It means properties that need work. They're dirty. They smell. They need repairs. So those are the properties where when you buy, you can buy them cheap and put in the work to fix them up and make your money that way. But of course, that's requires some skill and confidence because if you don't know the market and you don't know what you're doing, then you could definitely get yourself in a hole. So you have to be able to understand what you're doing. And again, that's something I kind of cover in the course there. And the course, if you want to dig in more. But let's see here. Let's just look at another city to see what else is out there. It's at Hickory. Let's find. Let me see here. Let's look at this map. It's been a while since I explored this area of North Carolina. I mean, Charlotte's good. I'm not sure if Charlotte would have much. Charlotte's pretty competitive right now. Let's just do Charlotte. See what comes up. Hey, this is not bad. 449. Let me see what's still here. Are these new? Ooh, this is a new one, but it's kind of pricey. New construction 760. Yeah, trying to see if there's anything decent here. I mean, Charlotte is blowing up, but blowing up means expensive, competitive, harder to find a deal. You have to know what you're doing. I mean, there's older dated properties here. I mean, like this one's $299. It's a 4.2. Yeah, it looks like a duplex. You can see the two doors. If you, I mean, looking at this, it's not terrible, but it just depends on the situation. A general rule that I like to think is that, and when you buy a property, is it a property that you could live in? If you, I mean, what I mean by that is like if you were to not just saying you buy the property for the tenant. If you were to buy that property, will you be willing to live there yourself? And that's yes, and that's a good check. But yeah, I mean, this is just to get an idea of what's out there and to keep in mind, you know, if you can just buy one property per year, especially if it's like a multifamily, and just do that for 10 years, I mean, you'll be golden. You might be able to honestly retire, or if not retire, you'll be able to focus on all that cash flow that's coming in, pay off all those debts and mortgages, and then you'll be sitting real pretty. But yeah, with this strategy, yeah, just kind of understand buying the instead of selling the home, you just pull out the money, and then you pull out that money, find a good property, go ahead and do your thing, live in one unit, rent the others, and after 1 year, you can you can get another line of credit on that property, or if the interest rates have gotten better and there's some equity in there, then yeah, you could do a refinance, to pull out that money. But yeah, this is just to get you thinking, and hopefully this video was helpful. And yeah, and hopefully kind of understand what my point of view, and that is you don't ever want to sell your assets, and what you want to do is take a loan on them, and then when you take a loan on the assets, you never pay taxes on the loan. And then versus in general, if you sell the asset, generally you do pay taxes, but again, if you live in a private residence and have more than 2 years, then there's no taxes on that, as long as you're under that limit. All right, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll make more videos, just kind of browsing through real estate and of course looking at businesses and stuff. All right, thank you.